Hello everyone in Cyber World, welcome back to another video. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Richard, and this is our channel we call Poor Man's DIY. Previously we did some garage reorganizing, and we made this so that we can figure out what types of furniture we can build in here for space savers. The previous version we made a wood storage device shed box on rollers. And today what we're going to do is we're going to make a workbench for our two xTool M1 lasers. As you can tell, my partner in crime is not with me here today, but there's a reason for that. I actually asked her not to join me. She's been struggling a lot with problems with her contacts whenever we have sawdust, even if she wears a mask. So I just wanted to play it safe and just said, go in and I'll take care of this. Okay, so what the situation here is, I need to build something different for my lasers. As you can see back here, I've got two lasers, xTool M1s, and I've got another Acer down below here. I actually have some of these running at the same time, depending on how many people that are asking me to build some stuff. Problem is, underneath here is whenever I have the M1 going, I actually have to go underneath and access this. And it really isn't very practical to do so. As well as my second one, when I pull it out, I can't lift the lid up all the way, and it just doesn't work efficiently. I made use of the space that I had, and it's like, well, I now need to come up with something different. If you have seen the last video or so, we made this little scale model of the garage, and the reason for that is I have a tendency of seeing things maybe two-dimensionally and thinking, okay, you know what, if I built this here or did that, it would work fine. However, what I have learned in the past is that, yeah, you may get a measurement that's so many inches wide, so many inches tall, and it's fine, but you don't think always about the depth. And so when you actually build something that's a little bit wider than you had expected, or it's deeper than expected, well, now the problem in this particular area is if I back my car in, I'm going to hit it and ruin my car. So the best thing for me to do was to make the scale model, and we've already finished one project and it worked perfectly. It fit the scale, and so today, hopefully my M1s won't do that when I build it. Today we're going to go ahead and work on this little workbench, and it's going to be done a little bit different. Maybe you've seen this workbench and another bench I have here somewhere. They're all on wheels because everything that we do in the middle of the garage during the day, and then at night before going to bed. The rule is that we have to be able to park the car in, so everything rolls back along the edges and we put it away, then we can fit the car. And so this new table is also going to have to be on wheels, and we're going to go ahead and put it right in this open space that we made. And I've got some wood that I've had cut at the big box store. It's not cut exact to size. I just wanted them to get somewhat close, and I needed it cut because I can't fit it in my car if I don't. So now we're going to head, I've got everything all measured up, ready to go. We're going to just start cutting, and we're going to, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and there's a reason for it, and I'll explain why we're doing it that way. So let's get cutting. Okay, now when considering how I was going to make this and how much space I had, one of the things that I looked at is some of the equipment that I have on the ground, including the vac and some other buckets and some wood and so forth. And I looked at how far they stuck out already. On average, they were about 23 inches, so I figured, well, if I can back in my car and have 23 inches of space, then I should be good. But I was worried that 23 might not be exactly what I'm going to need to be able to use the lasers on here efficiently, so I'm going to push it and go with 24 inches. Now, on the bottom of the ground here, there's a base. It's not a baseboard, it's concrete, but it's about 2 inches thick. So when I actually made our wood storage, I measured it for 23 inches as well, but when you push it up against that baseboard that sticks out 2 inches, it was 25, and that was a little bit too much. I had to make some adjustments. measurements. I didn't show on camera, but I had to cut it down. All right, now one of the other things that I had to consider is when I back in the car, I may have plenty of space, but I also need room to be able to open the door. What I had noticed is that right now, the way I had it set up, I had two of my vacuum buckets on the bottom here, and the car door opened up perfectly in between. So when I took the measurements from the existing shelf all the way out here, I noticed that I had about 60 inches that I could work with, and I thought that's going to be a really nice long table that I can use. However, I started thinking, okay, the door opens, it doesn't open straight out, it has to swing. So I brought my car in and I took the measurements with the door opening, and I found that, yeah, I can't go the full 60 inches, or the door, if I back in with the door already open, it will fit in here, but it won't be able to close. So I had to rethink this, and I took the measurement based on the swing of the door, and I am going to make it a little bit smaller. I think I'm looking at 52 inches. I probably could get away or have a little bit more, make it a little bit wider, but I really don't need that based on the size of the lasers. So I'm going to go with the 52 inch in length. I'm also going to be taking into consideration the 2-inch base of here in concrete. So the bottom shelf of this workbench, laser working bench, whatever we want to call it, the bottom shelf is actually going to be 2 inches smaller, so that when I push it up against the wall, it won't be, it will fit in there, and the top ones will be 24 inches. So anyhow, we'll show you how that works out. So let's go ahead and get cutting, as I said. Yeah, in order to do this nowadays, I got to put on the old man glasses to get proper measurements. All right. Let's see. So these, we're going to go with 49 inches, and it would help if I have lead. Now, before I do any cutting, I too have some issues with sawdust, so I'm going to, well, first of all, there's no ventilation in here, so I'm going to go ahead and gear up for safety purposes, and you're not going to be able to understand me. I'm going to sound like Darth Vader. All right, so as we have mentioned, this isn't how we would normally frame things. We wouldn't put it flat like this, but the reason for that is if I do this as I normally would and had the 3-inch side put together here, the problem is it would take up so much space and there would be less space in between the shelves. I needed a minimum of 20 inches because I plan on putting a smoke purifier on the bottom. If I do it the other way, it won't fit in, the hose won't attach, and so I had no choice but to do it this way. By doing it this way, there's only 1.5 inch space that I have, actually plus the 1/2 inch plywood, so there's 2 inches in between shelves as opposed to 4 inches. And so that's how we ended up doing it. And now if you take a look at the 3 different frames that we have, you notice 2 of them are larger than the one here. The reason for this is also based on what I talked about earlier. Down below is a concrete, a footer, I guess, and it comes out 2 inches. So instead of making everything just 20 inches wide, I decided to make just the bottom 20, and the top 2 will overhang for an additional 2 inches and go up against this wall. So the top surface, I'll have a full 24 inches. The bottom one only has 20. That's okay, because I plan on seeing if I can fit some drawers in here, as well as the purifier and the smoke purifier. And so it will work out. It should be flush along the front.
I'm sorry to say I didn't participate in this video a lot.
That's okay, because we already had designed a workbench in the past, and so we kind of used the same concept on this one here, and it went over really well. We're very happy with how this turned out, and it's very efficient for me now. I don't have to plug things in and unplug them when I'm cleaning. Everything is all there, all assembled. I just turn it on and I'm ready to engrave and cut right away. So we're thrilled about this. Well, I'm really thrilled about this.
I'm thrilled
too. Next week, who knows? We've actually had several companies reach out to us for different opportunities, and we're going to see which one arrives first, and we'll go from there. So until then,
Bye-bye.